In today's video we're going to be jumping back into some Diablo 4 content, and this time I'm going to show you the best and easiest way to grab yourself some easy sigil powder. If you need to make some sigils, perfect for anyone who's returning for seasonal content such as at the moment the Abbatoir Of Zir, then this is going to be the way forward. I'm going to show you one way that should work all the way through the game no matter what content you're playing, and then another way that's going to be great for this seasonal event and probably will work in any upcoming ones as well. So the first way we're going to be going over, one that you should always be able to do, you're going to want to use a nightmare dungeon sigil that you can complete quite easily and fast. The thing you're going to be doing with this, you're going to be clearing the content, you're going to be making your way through it, but ultimately you're going to want to be taking out the enemies at a really nice pace. Now for this, you're not going to want to be completing the dungeon, you're just going to want to be having a lot of mobs available, ready for you to take out, and then as you're clearing them, you're going to be looking for those nightmare sigils to drop. I usually find a few good ones will be ones such as this right here, Carrion Field, or the Sirocco Caverns, are really nice because of their mob density. But obviously it depends what season you're on and what nightmare dungeons are available to you. Ultimately you want somewhere that's got a lot of mob density. If there's nightmare portals as one of the modifiers, that works absolutely amazing, and your aim is just to clear all of the enemies within it as fast as possible, but not complete the objective because you don't want to finish the dungeon itself. Once you've done that and you've managed to grab yourself a couple of sigils as you've gone, then you're going to want to make sure that you've cleared out as many enemies as you possibly can before going on to the part or the boss where you're going to complete the dungeon, and from there you'll then be able to reset it. So what you're going to do, you're going to leave the dungeon like you see here, and then depending on what you've done, if you've picked a lot of gear up, you'll be able to go straight back to one of your towns, get yourself some nice resources or earn yourself some money, because you're going to have a timer before the dungeon resets anyway. It's roughly about 2.5 minutes before you can make your way back into the same dungeon, allowing you to rinse and repeat this process without spending any sigil powder, crafting any additional nightmare dungeons. Now obviously you won't be getting the experience for completing it and getting the glyph XP, but if you're just after that dust, then this way's absolutely amazing. Go back into the dungeon, rinse and repeat to your heart's desire, and then once you've got enough sigils, go back to the occultist and then dismantle them all and grab yourself some nice powder. This way works perfect all the way through the game, but if you're on seasonal content and you think your build's viable for something like the Abbatoir Of Zir, then I'll show you what's probably the best way currently in the game. The new blood sigils are very expensive, starting off at 800 and I believe working up to over 2000 per sigil. It means when you're crafting them, you're going to want to complete them. The reason for this, if you fail at any point, you lose 1 life, then you've lost that attempt, and everything that you've spent crafting it and going into it is pretty much out of the window. So I found as long as you've got a nice build on, so if you are attempting these Abbatoir Of Zirs, but you wanted to build up a little bit of your sigil powers as you go, then try to do ones that are of a slightly lower tier. Even the tier 1s and tier 2s can have very tough Bloodseeker Guardians if you're unlucky, and the modifiers on them can be quite ridiculous at times. So you want to run a tier that you know you can thoroughly clear easy without the risk of dying, and then even if it's like a 1, 2 or a 3, you're going to get yourself a nice clear. You're going to be able to upgrade your glyph or any other glyphs a little bit as well, but also you can farm yourself a whole bunch of sigil powder, as even at the lowest tier I believe I was getting between 12 to 1400. Remember, they cost 800 to craft, so as long as you're clearing these each time without falling over, then you're not going to lose out on any sigil powder, and you'll be able to craft them nice and easily as you go. I would imagine this will work very similar for any events that do things such as this in the future, revolving around nightmare dungeons, so hopefully this applies to any other seasons that are similar to this. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. There's going to be a lot more content from me, especially seeing as the new winter events coming up as well. As always, 4Things Gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.